And here on the executive stage, we have the deploying a Hoshin Kanri strategy to grow and develop capabilities in the short and long term. So with my colleagues from Chile, and there you have, no, you're not seeing double, they are there. They are too.
Okay. Okay, Christopher, thank you very much. Chile is here, huh? My name is Rodrigo Calderon from the Institute of Chile, and with me, Gabriel Calderon. He's my brother, twins. And I would like to introduce to Jose Pablo Dominguez. He's a general manager at the ML Metal Latin America, and the presentation is about deploying a Hoshin Kanri strategy to growth and develop capability in the short and long term. Thank you, Jose Pablo.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me. It is an honor for EMEA Metal to participate in the Lean Global Connection and to learn by sharing. So in my case, I would like to share with you our experience deploying Hoshin to grow and developing the capabilities of the business with the motto and the motivation to have everyone pushing the strategy, but with the condition to focus on the people development. I am Jose Pablo Dominguez. I am in charge of the EMEA Metal in South America. So let me first of all introduce a little bit about the Metal. Metal is a company with more than 100 years of age. We are old but young at the same time. This is a picture of the beginnings of Metal, which was through the invention of the arc furnaces that led the companies to produce cast steel from scrap. So that was a breakthrough from a technology perspective back then in 1917. We are a Chilean company, but currently we operate, we serve the mining industry, copper mining, silver mining, gold, iron, worldwide. We operate in more than 45 countries around the globe. We have facilities and operations in different continents, servicing mines with a lot of products and services. Our business, just to give you context, is about spare and wear parts, mostly mill liners, crusher liners, grinding media. Also, we've been expanding our business to technology consulting services, some digital services, know-how, benchmark, and we focus in the mine, in the crushing part of the process, the grinding, in general, mineral processing. So connecting with the challenge that we face, and we are still facing, we continuously face, we face the challenge to expand the business, to grow by deploying a new strategy. We were able to put together a good management team with a good leadership and a focus, and was a shared focus of generate opportunities for the people, to empower the people. Second, we identify a strategy that we consider was attractive for the business, which was integral solutions, how to provide integral solutions that could solve the pain of the miners in terms of whatever happened in the mineral processing part of the mining processes. And also, this is important information, we had new capabilities on the business and new opportunities as well. Also, we belong to the mining industry, which is an industry with a lot of opportunities. It is a challenging environment, but the opportunities were there for us. So then the question was, okay, how we manage this? Which could be the management model that could help us to achieve everything that we were willing to achieve. So based on that, we approach Lean, the Lean Institute, and they offer us the opportunity to improve our capabilities to understand and solve problems, which was actually one of the big problems we faced. Normally, we had repetitive problems with that were kind of not solved, So our idea was to how to put in place a better management system in order to help us to understand better and solve faster problems. So our journey, and this is a really summary of what we've been doing. Our journey has been, first, we identify one problem and we check if the lean methodology was good for us in order to solve the problem. The findings were really interesting. The motivation of the people went up. The problem was solved. And it was interesting to find out how the people was kind of taking over, and the leaders were in a kind of a different situation, were more facilitators than in charge of deciding. And then we expanded this to other areas of the company. That was also a good experience. In some areas, the system worked, in others, it didn't. But it was actually, we realized that was a lot about the leadership. And then we got into Hoshin Kanri. As a general manager, I was kind of all the time thinking on how to connect the strategy of the company to the problems and the opportunities that we have. So the challenge was how to deploy. And we got into a Hoshin Kanri, an annual Hoshin Kanri process, where we identify, using the A3 tool, identify opportunities, projects, and challenges connected with the GR budget and the GR plan. We've been doing this for 5 years already, and the process has been successful. And as a result of that, it's been interesting that we identify that the connection we created with the strategy and the deployment of the strategy was positive. And the results of that has been that we more than doubled the sales. We more than doubled the EBITDA of the company. And also we have been able to generate significant improvements in many other KPIs: lead times, quality, employee satisfaction, important. Also, it's not mentioned here, but also we were able to really create opportunities for the people, because as long as you are expanding the business, you create new positions, new challenges, new opportunities. So in general, our assessment of the process was that our people was kind of engaged. There was a commitment. There was more involvement. Everyone was kind of more connected with the strategy. So then the natural question was, okay, what about if we use the same process or a similar process, the Hoshin, but not for the annual planning? What if we try that for the 5-year planning, which was something that our corporate area was requesting us to carry out? So that was beginning of 24. So the conversation was about, okay, but we have what is on the left working. We have a good connection of the short-term Hoshin, the expanded A3. We have been able to develop a discipline of plenaries, learning sessions, also the Gembas, the A3 checkpoints. All this system in the short term, in the annual process, is working. So then the natural question, okay, what if we connect the area which is in the red dotted line? What if we connect a long-term Hoshin, which is going to be a different problem or a different process? But what if we take the chance to connect the long-term challenges of the company with the system that is already working well in the short-term challenges? So the natural questions about that was, okay, how we structure this? Because this is different. When you think about 5 years, you are not talking about something that you can go to the floor and solve next week. You are talking about longer challenges. Then how can we design the countermeasures? That was another question. Different type of countermeasures. And how can we sustain and align? So, but the main opportunity was to leverage all the learnings and all the system in place with the Hoshin, the annual Hoshin, in a longer term. So, as I said already, the challenge and the idea that we work along with the Lean Institute was to how to create the long-term Hoshin with a good connection with the short term. And so we start thinking, and we decided to build this as a step-by-step process, and we created this. We identified different elements that we considered important to have. One of them was the Lean Transformation Framework. When you think about 5 years, the purpose and some capabilities you need to review that. So we got into that. We also carry out a lot of managerial work sessions to kind of discuss with the teams at different levels, as well as we do with the annual Hoshin, the different opportunities. We work macro flows. I'm going to refer further to that in the coming slides, because the macro flows are really a key element, because we're talking about the big picture of the processes of the company. And then we plan, and we've been doing some of these expanded work sessions, some outdoor activities, teamwork and leadership. Leadership is key in Hoshin in general. And also because of the fact that many of the new challenges that we have identified, some of them we don't have know-how as a company. So there was a need to connect with suppliers, with experts outside. And on the same token, business visits was also an opportunity, because there's some know-how, knowledge that we don't have, so we need to benchmark and look outside. So the main process was this one, was to identify the opportunities. Through our commercial team and our business team, we were able to identify the opportunity to double the size of the business. In some cases, by expanding some of the product lines and service lines we already have, but in others to get into adjacent businesses and products and services that we can expand. We identify pillars and drivers related with that potential. So it was interesting because we confirmed that we were able to double the size of the business, but then the question was how to do it. It wasn't only about selling more. It was about moving a lot more, producing a lot more, designing a lot more. So then the question was, okay, we need to identify which are the KPIs that we need to move and manage in order to achieve the opportunities we have. So then we identify also the need to have a kind of look to the macro flows. When I say macro flows, I mean high-level end-to-end processes that define how the value moves through the organization, or how the creation of value is supported, the back office, for example. And we are actually, at this moment, we are in this stage of the process. We already run the macro flows, and through the macro flows, we identify several opportunities and projects. Now we are in the time of prioritizing and defining which of these problems and opportunities are the key ones, and then afterwards we will develop them. We will deploy the key projects. But we also define a purpose. It's important to have a purpose, and as a team, we have a purpose that is fully connected with the people, is connected with the leadership, and also is connected with the contribution that we as a company would like to make to the Chilean and the South American economy in general. So this is the example. We identify the red ones are our strategic pillars. We identify key KPIs that we understand that they are connected with the potential. So we need to really move these KPIs. Just as an example, for example, one key element, one driver is the talent development. We realized that in order to double the size of the business, one key element for us was the talent development, retention, and attraction, the people. Capabilities were also a key factor, because when you talk about 5 years, you probably need to invest. You need CapEx to expand the size of the business. And also another key element is the development, is the innovation side, with the development of new solutions, new products, new business opportunities. So identifying the potential and the drivers, then we got, this is important. One main difference between the annual Hoshin and the 5-year Hoshin, probably this is an important one, is the type of problems that you are going to solve. In a short-term period, maybe you will identify type 1, type 2 problems, some of them out of standard operations or whatever. When you talk about 5 years, mostly what you are going to find are problems type 3, type 4. Many of them type 4 because you are going to develop a new business, a new area, or something new, a new product. So that was another challenge, how to address something that is different for us. It has been extremely interesting. So based on the opportunity, based on the drivers, we got into the macro flows, and by macro flows, the best way to explain it, I believe, is that our feeling was that our current back office capacity no longer fits the size of the business. So like we outgrown the clothing or the clothes we used to wear. So we felt like a teenager that grew so fast that the clothes doesn't fit him. So it was that was our feeling, because actually our challenge was to double the size. It is our challenge. It is to double the size of the business. So the macro flows plays a significant role, because the macro flow analysis is helping us to identify opportunities, problems, and projects that needs to be carried out in order to let the potential really happen. So we analyze, and actually the new product development, we analyze the macro flow of the logistics, the products and service engineering, the sales, the IT capabilities. And so as you may notice already, some of them back office activities, some other key value activities of the processes of the company. The way that we analyze the macro flows was to connect the drivers. We identified the main drivers related with each macro flow, and we analyze the macro flow as well as we analyze any problem following the scientific method. And we identify opportunities and projects. In the moment, we are prioritizing and selecting which are the main projects we would like to achieve. But as an example, we identify the need of a new distribution center. We identify the need of several different IT tools that we need to have. So as you may notice already, those type of things are normally longer term projects that you will not solve in a normal annual Hoshin process. So we've been carrying out different activities, a lot of participation with the people. As I said, we are working, identifying the main projects that needs to be implemented to really giving us the chance to achieve the potential we identified to double the size of the business. And we created the ecosystem. And this is the last part, and I think it's interesting, because again, the challenge was on the opportunity that we really think it provides a lot of value, was the challenge to connect the short-term strategy with the Hoshin with the long-term. So we put in place a different ecosystem connecting the long-term and the short-term, which actually can be summarized this way. We put a lot of effort on the A3 process, A3 process for the annual Hoshin, A3 process for tactical purposes, A3 process for the 5-year Hoshin, connected with the daily management and connected with the style of leadership that is required for the leaders to work as facilitators. And we've been working on each of these 3 main elements to promote the transformation of the company and the mentality and the achievement of the opportunity we have to double the size of business. Interesting that the system works in different directions. It works top down, and we are fully connected now with the Hoshin. It works bottom up with the daily management, and also it works in the 4 points with all the behaviors and the trainings and the leaderships trainings we have. The ecosystem, it is something that is alive, is moving, it is generating a lot of activities, but activities that really kind of streamline and make efficient the energy of the people. So this is our experience. I hope that helps everyone. So Rodrigo, Gabriel.
Okay, thank you, Jose Paulo. Thank you very much, Jose Paulo. And here we have some questions related your presentation. And the question is, what are your biggest learnings from the companies that fail with Hoshin?
Oh, no, I mean, I can talk about my experience.
Yeah.
I think the learning has been that the energy and the capacity or the power, that's a better word, the power you are able to generate through the connection of all the people and the engagement of all the people, when you are able to deploy the strategy and let the people become the owners of the strategy. That's another key element, because the new generations, they want to be part of the companies, but they want to be actors, they play a major role in the companies. And with our experience has been that a lot of talent has been able to kind of shine through the process. So my main learning, which is a positive, not a negative, is that sharing the strategy with all the people of the company becomes a big asset and a big factor for the success of the journey.
Thank you, Jose Pablo. Thank you very much. Another question is, can you describe more about the daily management and how it connects to Hoshin?
Yeah, through the Hoshin in general, the short term and long term, mostly the short term at this point, what we dedicate time and effort is to assure that the different A3 processes we carry out, we actually do a kind of accounting or inventory of all the daily management activities we have, and every year we kind of refresh the daily management activities, assuring to connect those daily management activities that will happen anyhow in any company, but to assure a proper connection between the daily managements and the A3 challenges. Because sometimes you as a company, you move from one challenge to another, and maybe the daily management is not refreshed. So we dedicate time to that. We dedicate time to assure that the daily management activities that are happening in every area with the panels every morning or every once a week or whatever, that assuring that those activities are connected with the challenges we really are interested to achieve. That's a key. We dedicate a lot of effort to that, and we believe that as leaders, if we dedicate to really organize that, it is a better way to assure the success of the company.
Super, thank you. Another question is related maybe another tools to try to define the long term. And the question is if are you using the X matrix? It's another methodology tools to connect the long-term objective with annual objectives. I don't know if you know about the X matrix.
No yet.
No. I try to answer. The matrix is a summary. Yeah, it's a summary, but we need use the method. The principal method in this case is use A3, use daily management, and develop the lean leadership. And the principal method is PDCA. And is you want to use the matrix, or suggestion is only summary, yeah, because the more important is the process. In the case in method, we use the A3 is the fundamental method.
Yeah, in our long-term Hoshin, I would say that the main activity has been the identification of the potential, which was more a commercial activity. And then a lot of time has been dedicated to the macro flows, because to really have a good mapping of the macro flows, because we identified that one limitation we're going to be, in order to double the size of the business, was the capacity of the organization in general.
Okay, Jose Pablo, I have other question for you. How did the leadership of manager change?
Oh, a lot. Many of my managers, including myself, we used to be hands-on managers, and actually our career was kind of being a hands-on managers, and through the process it's been interesting. That's a good question, because we kind of change our behavior and we become more trainers and facilitators of the different teams. As I said, they are owners of the strategy. They are happier being owners, and we are also happier as managers or VPs, because we free up time to dedicate time to other activities, other projects and opportunities, including the 5-year Hoshin. The 5-year Hoshin requires a lot more time for the managers and the VPs.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jose Pablo. It's the time, but I appreciate for the learning together with Elaine Metal. It's very good history. Okay, so it's time. Christopher.
Thank you very much.